Where can we look to make sense of the world? Hello, everyone. I'm Thomas, and welcome to my channel. I do educational videos primarily, books, courses, articles, and mostly on esoteric stuff. Usually not really actually esoteric, but just more like occult, hidden stuff. People who have, a lot of my stuff is people who've spent their whole lives working on something and never gotten recognized, never gotten any credit or any money for what they've done. And even though they spent their whole life on it, and we call them crackpots. Well, probably some of them were crackpots, but many others did some very valuable work that is right now, kind of just like sitting in the trash pile there, and nobody knows about it. Some of it is because it's a little bit difficult to understand. A lot of times these people had to come up with an entirely new language to describe what they were doing. And so it takes a lot of digging and some, perseverance to figure out what they're talking about. And in our, short attention span, world that they're putting us into, we don't have time for those people. We want the answers and we want them now. Don't want to have to do any research. We want to put everything put on a silver platter for us. And but I guess that's not exactly relevant right now. I'm just ranting. This is the Tree of Life. This is one of those things that is obscure and misunderstood. A lot of people will dismiss it as being a tool of the devil. No such thing. There are no tools of the devil. There are tools. Tools can be used by the devil. They can also be used by good people like yourselves. So, the Tree of Life has 10 different spheres. They're circles on the diagram, but they're called spheres. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then there's also a thing here called the abyss, and then there's a 0 above the tree. A total of 12 different categories. These generally map out to our faculties, to 12 faculties of consciousness. And they are, to start with, the animal consciousness or survival instinct. This is our domestic consciousness, where we're growing up in the home. The first few years of our lives, we're very receptive and we're highly able to memorize and to imitate. The A-sphere is about the public world or the conventional wisdom, and this is like this is the expert opinion, and then they teach us to believe what they're spouting here. The 7th sphere is for people who don't really believe in what's being offered here by the institutions, and they have a creative spark, and they come up with artistic endeavors and inventions that provide alternatives to what's being offered here in the A-sphere. This is also our inspiration. We get inspired by people who are acting up here, and that tilts us in that direction. That gives us that direction. And then, the inspiration, though, is only 1% of the genius. The other 99% is perspiration. So it's hard work. Moving on this path here from 7 to 6 to 5 is very hard work, and it's usually pretty lonely work. But then here at the 6th sphere, this is our free will faculty. This is our ability to pay attention and to make decisions. And this is also the center of the tree. This is where we are located. You are here. But unfortunately, our attention, Our free will is usually facing down the tree. So we're facing at our past, what happened in our past, our upbringing, even back down to our animal consciousness. And we're paying attention to that. What the great part of this 99% perspiration is turning our attention around from those conditionings at the lower levels to tune into what's going on right now in our higher faculties. And so at the sixth sphere, the key is that we're ignoring our conditionings down here and beginning to pay attention to what's going on up here. So one of the first thing is our sense of justice. This is our karma. What comes around goes around, and so on. And this is the enforcement of the natural law, whereas this is just the enforcement of like the police law or the federal law. This is the real law, the natural law, which is based on the articulation of the law here and the enforcement here. Now, this articulation of the law, again, can tell the difference because the law, the natural law, is an observation. The natural law is how things actually are. You can tune into it through observation and probably repeated observation and even experimentation. Whereas the law here, so-called, from the eighth sphere, you don't observe it. It's a commandment. They tell you what it is, and you comply. Okay, so sixth and fifth sphere, this is also universal, or fifth and fourth sphere, are on the same side, same level. Enforcement of the law, articulation of the law. This also refers to our universal love, universal law, universal language. The abyss here is all about our psychic powers, particularly our ability to tune into and recognize omens. This is our divine triangle within. This is omnipotence, all-powerful, omniscience, all-knowing, and omnipresence, all everywhere, all at once. And then the zero above the tree is a mystery, or something that's outside of the universe entirely, and it is nothingness. So the third sphere we get like by tapping in through sound synchronization. Mantra is an example. And then we also tune into the omniscience, all-knowing, or wisdom. That's tuned into either through deep silence of the mind or through an oracle or a divination system. If we can't get that silence in our minds at this point, we practice and practice. It may take, many years of meditation to develop the kind of silence that we would need to tap into wisdom ourselves. And so there is a surrogate wisdom system called the divination. Okay, now what I've done with my model is, this is the 12 faculties of consciousness that purport to describe anything. And so what I've done is I've miniaturized the tree, the whole tree, and applied it to each one of the spheres. So 12 faculties within the 10th sphere, 12 faculties within the 9th sphere, and so on. So for a total of 144 different fractal faculties, which I've described as the 144 different stages of life, but not chronological stages, dramatic stages. So there's all these different dramas that we need to be able to negotiate as we move through life and as we move up the tree on the path. Okay, now, so if you'd like a free copy of the list of my 144 fractal faculties, just click the link in the description and I will rush that out to you. And it will help you as you go along through all these videos, and you'll be able to compare and contrast and refer back, and it'll just give you a a scorecard to be able to follow all this. It'll also help you learn. You can move ahead and move behind instead of having to, wait for me to talk about it. It'll already be there. Okay, now what we're talking about today, where can we look to make sense of the world? This is number 79, stage number 79, cosmological systems. And the cosmological systems is a four-sphere thing. It's the fourth fractal of the fourth sphere. So remember that the fourth sphere is the universal law, universal language, universal love, and that the law itself is an observation. So a cosmological system is what is the fourth fractal of the fourth sphere. Stage number 79 is about published sources that purport to explain all things in life and how they work. A complex system of eternal metaphysical principles, comprehensive written statements of the universal law. Laws themselves are permanent. So the more accurate the cosmology, the longer lasting. Natural laws are observations, while human laws are codes or commandments. But the ancient cosmologies are outmoded, fragmented, tampered with, and mistranslated, while the modern cosmologies are biased, blissed out, pigeonholed, and money or ego driven. Mix and match, comparative cosmology, cosmology. Many, like the Bible, are taken from much older, even more complete sources. The workings of the natural law are arrived at through living, through observing, through researching, studying, hypothesizing, experimenting, and insight. More effective cosmologies, the authors include Michelle Small-Wright, many Black creative musicians, the Crop Circle Makers Collective, the Sumerian Tablets, Carlos Castaneda and his acolytes, Joseph Schillinger, Louisa Teich, Starhawk, and other disciplined nonviolent witchcraft practitioners, Pelestration by Dirk Laureyssens, the Schwaller de Lubitzes, Terence McKenna's and his plant revolution, Buckminster Fuller and other synergetic studies, the raw material, Dewey B. Larson's reciprocal system of theory, Ben Iverson's quantum arithmetic, Bruce Perret's reciprocal system 2, and of course, the tree of life. To name a few, proposed and relatively successful cosmologies, if not perfect. There is no such thing as perfect. But when in doubt, go to RS2, as it is an updated system of theory. Systems of theory root out bias, empowering the student, for if we learn the system, we can apply it for ourselves. If we assemble a systematic worldview, then we'll also find that fear goes away, because we fear what we do not understand. Do more with less, like nature. Maintaining order, observations, not commandments, on the way nature behaves. Truth is a relationship, allocates to all things their place in time and space. Intuitions are the source of the moral code. Intuitively perceive the abstract general class to which specific issues belong. We inherit what came before us in our cultural lineage, a whole way of life, but that doesn't mean that it's right. Scrutinize it. Okay, that is cosmological systems, the fourth fractal of the fourth sphere. Okay, and stay tuned for future videos that I'll be coming up with on the Tree of Life and many other subjects. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like my copy of my, a free copy of my 144 Fractal Faculties list, annotated, just click the link below in the description. And we'll see you all next time. Have a nice day.